Good morning, everyone. It's Joy Henderson here, coming to you with my Friday morning vlog, a message that I hope will encourage you and give you some things to think about as you go into your weekend today. I am a graduate clinical counselor with Foundations Counseling and Assessments, and also a member of the community engagement team with Behavioral Perspective here in Central Illinois. So on Wednesday, I talked about the concept of self-compassion and how turning this to this more could help you find a way to take better care of yourself and make you better able to care for those around you. Even as I say that, it makes sense, right? I know that none of you sets out to intentionally resist taking care of yourself. It's just that there are so many needs in the way of making that not happen. But I've found in talking to many parents just like you that it's easy to get into such a habit of putting yourself aside that it can transfer into something far more dangerous than just not brushing your teeth for a few days or not taking a shower regularly. You see, the more you believe that you are not important enough to take care of, the more you see yourself as a big part of every problem you face. In other words, we are the ones to blame. And after a while, it's easier for us to blame ourselves than anyone or anything else. One way to better understand this is to consider how you react when you hear about something happening that involves someone that you don't regard very highly. It's pretty easy to assume the blame on that person, isn't it? And even before you know all the facts, you turn right to them immediately. Having a low level of compassion encourages you to be critical and believe the worst of something. When we lack self-compassion, we find it easier to be self-critical in the very same way. So if you scored a 3.0 or lower on the self-compassion scale that we shared with you on Wednesday, there's a good chance that you're going to score high when it comes to being self-critical, having critical self-talk, not being able to see what your value is, what your special skills are, what makes you so great and capable and able to handle anything that you're facing today. You know, we do a great job of seeing everything that's wrong with us versus what's right. You can't be compassionate for someone who you have little or no value for. Since this is hard to recognize, some really great therapists have given us some suggestions for helping us to connect on how our self-criticism and negative self-talk has increased a lack of self-care for ourselves. And unfortunately, this is why we might find ourselves engulfed in feeling helpless or engulfed in anxiety. So to uncover these habits, try something like this. Close your eyes and reflect on the following question. Think about times when you've had a close friend come to you struggling in some way, and maybe they had some misfortune or failed or felt inadequate. They came to you for help. How do you typically respond to friends when they come to you in these situations? What do you say? What's your tone of voice? What's your body language? Take a minute to consider that. Now close your eyes and reflect again on the same question, but this time think about the times you struggled, when you failed or had a misfortune, felt inadequate. How do you typically respond to yourself in these situations? What tone of voice do you use? What's the words that you say to yourself? What are some nonverbal gestures you might make, like, ugh, right? Now consider these responses in comparison to your reaction to your friend. How are they different? Usually most people are pretty sharp or very, very surprised at the stark contrast between how badly they treat themselves versus a friend. Now, don't use this as just one more way to criticize yourself. Our culture doesn't encourage us to be kind to ourselves, which is why we have to intentionally practice changing the way we feel about ourselves and our self-worth to counter these lifetime of habits. It's easy to forget all the good things about ourselves when we see ourselves blow it. And again, our culture discourages us from patting ourselves on the back when we do something that we think is just normal, but it's really quite extraordinary in the eyes of others. Being there for your family the way you are and caring for them every day is pretty amazing, even when things don't go just right. So I want to encourage you to take note of all these terrific characteristics that you embody. The good news is the experts have also provided us with some ways we can practice and discover how to stop being so critical of ourselves and replace those thoughts with kindness and compassion. We've taken a few of the best suggestions and put them into a downloadable file for your use. I attached it in the link in the description above. It starts out by taking some time each day to start a self-compassion journal. Write down what you feel bad about, anything you judged yourself for, a difficult experience that happened that caused you pain. Now, it's simply taking time to acknowledge that you struggle and putting it down, and then finding some ways to respond to them instead of blaming yourself for them. There are 3 different tools: mindfulness, common humanity, and self-kindness. And they're all designed to help you change your perspective on how you see the pain and stressful situations in your life. Remember, imperfection is a part of shared human experience. That same empathy and compassion that you would give a dear friend, you can give to yourself. It's going to take practice. It's going to take time. But why not start this new year with a new understanding of how you can like yourself more and treat yourself better? Thank you so much for listening in today. We appreciate being a part of your life, even in the smallest of ways. And if we can do anything more to help you, please reach out to us and let us know. And share this video with someone who you think might be able to use it and can use some tips on being more self-compassionate today. So thanks again for listening, and as always, be well.